So, hello, good morning. I hope everybody is here in our webinar, Premiere webinar number 2. We will talk about how to find the right partners for a multi-actor Horizon Europe project. Welcome everybody, and welcome in particular our speakers. We have with us Katarzyna Walczyk-Matuszczyk from IPPT PAN from Poland. We have Serena Borgna from APRE in Italy, and Eduard Maure from Spain. My name is Susanne von Münchhausen. I work with Eberswalde University, and I'm a member of the coordinating team of this project, of Premiere. And Premiere is all about supporting those who want to participate in EU projects in the application process in terms of how to understand the multi-actor approach much better. So how to find the right partners, that's our topic today, and welcome everybody. So I have a very short presentation about Premiere. Then our 3 welcome speakers will come forward, and afterwards you, dear participants, will have the opportunity to ask your questions. We have open panel discussions, so please put your questions and comments into the Q&A tool. So you see below in the menu bar of this Zoom, there is a chat. So if you have technical problems or so, or want to communicate among yourselves, you can use the chat. But for all the questions that relate to the panel, please put them in the Q&A tool and we will deal with them. We might not be able to answer all tools, but we will pick them up, and if you have particular ones, and then we address them afterwards. And before we finish, a few closing remarks. Here we are, our different speakers. We have the topics, the titles of their speeches: understanding the call text, using networks and platforms to join or build a robust multi-actor consortium. That's Katarzyna, who will give us a more general overview. And then Serena comes in and will present us the lessons learned, the experiences, and how it worked with a very specific platform, an online platform, which the network of NCP, National Contact Points, used last year, and what they learned from it and how it works. And this tool will be also used in the upcoming months. So that's interesting. And then we have Eduard. And Eduard will talk from a very practice orientation. He is experienced with several projects. He's also coordinating a project. And he will talk about challenges and experience to find and engage with suitable partners for these Horizon multi-actor project proposals. Thank you. So a very few words about Premiere. Preparing multi-actor projects in a co-creative way, that's the title. And the objectives are as follows. We want to contribute to a better understanding of the need to strengthen the multi-actor approach. Many people think, okay, we involve a few stakeholders and that's it. No, it's much more. It is really a good understanding that is needed in order to fulfill the multi-actor requirements. We also want to support those aiming to apply the multi-actor approach when developing a Horizon project proposal. And that's exactly why we are talking about it today. And we want to strengthen the implementation of the multi-actor approach in policy and administration. And that's why we work very closely with REA and with the policy officers who are drafting these call topic texts. Premiere is a coordination and support action, and we also are a multi-actor project. We've started in January 23, and the project lasts for 5 years, so we have another couple of years to go, around about 5 million that we receive from the Commission. Next, Bernardo. As I said, Premiere is a multi-actor project itself. And that's why I have listed the different types of partners, because we also had to ask ourselves the question, how to find the right partners. So we have applied research and education partners, such as CIAM, who is organizing this webinar. We have applied research and policy advice organizations who specialize also in science communication, such as Baltic Study Center and Arvalis. We've got a Chamber of Commerce and Agri-Food from Slovenia. They really ensure the close connection with the SMEs in the agri-food area. We have consultancies, Highclere Consulting in Romania, and education and training, CM, I mentioned them already. We have a Cologne Game Lab because they develop a serious game. We have a local leader organization who is organizing a seed funding call. Application is now closed, selection process going on, very specific tasks. And then we have a Ministry for Agriculture. Also, this was required in the call topic text, and we will come to that later. But this is a very practice example on how to put together a mixed consortium of actors in order to collect all the competences that are needed for the work in this project. And Premiere is, as any others, a multi-actor project. Next, please. We have quite a few materials and services to offer. As I said, seed funding is now closed, but we have several of those who will join also this event, have joined the Brokerage event yesterday that was run. So bringing together networking to encourage and involve newcomers in particular, such as operational groups, local action groups, SMEs or NGOs in particular, in this world, in this realm of Horizon Europe projects. We develop hands-on material with good practice for effective multi-actor co-creation. Fresh from the press, I will show you this in a second, Premiere's multi-actor cartoons. And what we also continue to recommend are the liaison how-to guides. We have developed in an earlier project how-to guides with very practice experiences and recommendations on how to run multi-actor projects. There is an online and offline version of a multi-actor simulation game. We call it the Mummy game. Developed this in 23, so that's available. Either we can do it or you can use it for your own purposes. There's a competence and skills matrix that is in particular useful for checking competences in the core team, and then what else is needed, other partners that need to be involved during the proposal development process. Testimonials are available on YouTube, as well as the webinars as the one we are having today, and more to come. So please follow our Premiere's engagement campaign towards September 25, because that's the next deadline when the Cluster 6 call topics are closing and your submissions have to be submitted. Next one. So these are the 4 cartoons. We cannot go into detail, just check them out. They are available on our website. And the differences between these 4 cartoons is actually different scenarios, different ways of coordinating a proposal development. One-person show, solar system, leading and engaging diversity. And the last one, commitment to co-creation, is a particular that focuses very well on the multi-actor approach. Next one. And that's why I thought I'd just pick it out and give you a few citations from it. So at the info day, or it could be today, the person presenting it says, the multi-actor approach is based on the interactive innovation model, which brings together diverse project partners to engage practical problems and create ideas into innovative solutions. And then the coordinator, it's the lady with the long dark hair, she thinks, I need to get the right balance of partners and let ideas emerge from them. I cannot impose my interpretation of the project call on them. So what next? She invites a few partners and then presents herself. She's the project coordinator, and invites them for a brainstorming in order to collect their ideas. And then a little bit later, the supporting guy with the beard, he says, we cannot develop a good multi-actor project proposal without the layout and the input of our practice partners. We really have to involve them. So they think about it, they engage with them on a bilateral basis. They really put a lot of effort in their commitment to co-creation. And then we have the citation of the two practitioners who are walking around and saying, oh, the multi-actor approach is working well in this consortium. Our project leader is working hard to ensure our constant involvement, even if we struggle to keep up with all these discussions. And the lady confirms, oh yes, I coordinate an EIP Agri operational group. And we as farmers, we don't have much time to engage. We are very limited, but I'm very grateful that these partners take up, lead the process and capture our ideas and do the proposal. So that's a good example. And it shows really how challenging it is for the proposal developer. The next, please. So thank you very much so far. That was my introduction. And now I would like to welcome Katarzyna Walczyk-Matuszak with her presentation. Katarzyna, the word is yours.
Thank you very much, Susanne, for the introduction, an invitation to this event. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm representing the IPPD PAN, which is a partner within the Premier project. Me, myself, I have been an MCP and also delegate for more than 15 years. And after I joined the Research Institute, so I have the both perspective, the policy one, but also the practical one. And in my today presentations, I would like to provide you with a bunch of advices related to a big picture on how to understand the context, how to use networks and platforms to join and build a robust multi-actor approach. So next slide, please. So in my presentation, I will focus on the following points. First will be the background. So this is quite important. So what has happened prior to the partner search? Before we will go into the core of the presentation, it is very important as well to stop and make a step back and also do the necessary actions which support and enhance your success in the future. Then I will provide you a few pieces of examples of a successful partner identification. Then I will also address strategies to how to tackle the gaps. And last but not least, I will share with you some conclusions. So the next slide, please. So what should be done before we go into the partner search? So actually, the most important activity you do before creating a consortium is a selection of a proper call topic. The topic of you select should be actually in line with the strategy of your research team, but also of the strategy of your institution. So because it ensures that you have necessary resources, motivation, people and time who will be able to prepare the project proposition. And afterwards, if the proposition is successful, also they could be dedicated and motivated to implement the project. So this is very important to focus only on the top priorities, because we all know that in particular, the coordination in Horizon Europe projects is very demanding. Then it is if you have already selected the call topic and you say, okay, this is in line with our strategy, we have capacities in-house, we have experience in-house, we also have some vision how to do it, then it is quite important to read carefully all the call documents and guidelines. So the teams who are dedicated to the preparation of the call, the proposal, they usually focus on the call text only. But this is not enough. Actually, you should also have a detailed look into the introduction to the work program and also to the destination. Why? Because in those parts, and in particular in the description of the destination, there are policy priorities mentioned to which the calls under the destinations are responding. Moreover, within the destination, there are also like policy group mentions, some boards, which are quite important to know. So actually your activity should be to have a detailed insight into the introduction, into the destination text, to check what's behind the committee, which is mentioned in the destination, or the board, or the partnership, or any other political document. In regard to this boards of committees where there are people, it is very useful to check who are these people, who are the people behind, because it may happen that you tend to know those people, or you tend to know someone in the organization those people are coming from. And it would be good to target those people, if you of course know them, and have more detailed insight into actually what's behind, what's the story behind of having this topic in the work program. Then in regard to the call text itself, so believe me, as I mentioned at the beginning, I was working as a national Polish delegate in several program committees. In regard to the call text, every single word matters. There are no accidents that actually the word is there. So you should carefully study the call text. And actually, if you have doubts, what does it mean? You can refer to the more experienced colleagues, or also target the support, which I will mention later on within the presentation. It is very important as well to focus and carefully read all the expected outcomes which are listed in the call text, and the formal requirement regarding the project consortium. As the multi-actor approach, this is in particular important that you have addressed this requirement into the participants who creates your consortium. Then, of course, there are aspects which should be taken into consideration while preparing, like tackling the topic and preparing the consortium. So there are usually sectors and disciplines mentioned in the call text, so they should be addressed in the vision and idea of your proposition, but also later on, they should be reflected in the competencies of the consortium. Then what is also very important is that, as you are very well familiar, the calls are evaluated according to the evaluation criteria like excellence, impact, and implementation. But also there are other two criteria for differentiation. If the projects, the proposals are equally scored with the award criteria, then there is a gender criteria applied and also geographical balance criteria applied. So make sure as well that you have a gender balance ensured within the consortium, and you have also the geographical balance ensured within the consortium. So the next slide, please. And if you have done this job, now it's time to start identify the right partners. First, my advice would be that you should go to Cordis, which is a publicly available database where all the funded projects from framework programs are being presented. So as you know, it happens that the calls are repeated from year to year, or there are calls of a similar nature in terms of topic, or there are continuation, development, or the calls built upon what has been funded in the previous work programs. So you should actually go to Cordis and have a look on the previously funded similar project, and also have a look who are the organizations behind. From Cordis, you may be directed to the web pages of the projects, which are, for example, currently running. And this could be also a great inspiration for you while creating an idea, but also a structure for the future project. And also you can see also how they solve, for example, some important issues, or how they tackle the multi-actor approach. So this is one point. Where is it valuable to go to Cordis? The other one is that you can see which organizations, which teams, which people were or are involved in the projects of a similar nature, and maybe they could be your future partners. Then very important is also to do the research, who is the best in the field. So you are representing sectors, and you know for sure who is a leader in terms of research, like a basic research, applied research, in terms of industry. So it's very good to make a list of those leading organizations, maybe also names or teams, and also reflect it later on if it's necessary or advisable to have them in the consortium. The multi-actor approach, as Susanna in her presentation presented Premier as one of the best example of the composition of the consortium, requires that you have a different entities on board, and they participate in the preparation, and then they participate in the implementation of the proposal, ensuring outreach to the various sectors and target groups. So it's also very important that you make a list of the entities that should be within your consortium, and afterwards looking for the trying to identify the entities. And last but not least, if the topic really tackles like a political aspect, so it's really good to have someone for the relevant expert group, and those expert groups, committees, board, as I have mentioned, they are usually tackled in the description of the destination of the work program. So go there once again, check the names and the organizations, and if it's relevant and necessary to have the representatives of the policy issues, it will be also advisable to put them on the list of the potential partners of your consortium. So next slide, please. Yes, and now the strategies, how to build the consortium. So you have already the topic selected. You said we can dedicate the resources. We have a vision. Then we have identified how the consortium should be constructed, which competencies should be there, which regions should be presented, which type of the entities should be there. So this is now a time to build the consortium. But before doing this, reflect on your own expertise you have in-house. So there are like tools, and very simple one is a SWOT analysis, which may help you to identify your weaknesses and strengths. And do this exercise at in-house with the team and check which areas listed in the call topic, so in particular in the expected outcomes, are you able to cover, and where are the gaps? So where are your weaknesses, and where the partners need to step in to deliver the best quality and to deliver also their experience and make the project successful. It is also very good to reflect on that sometimes, okay, you can say we have competences, but they are better partners, and they could be an added value for the consortium when they step in actually in this area. So this is also good to make this self-reflection, where are we the best, where are we good but they're better, and where like obvious weaknesses, and we need the other partners to cover those weaknesses. And what is very important is that basing on this exercise and all the requirements I have mentioned before, you should actually prepare the project consortium. And what I have also already mentioned, but I would like to stress it one again, it is very important to study in details the expected outcomes and look for the partners who could fulfill the expected outcomes, because the expected outcomes, as we know in Horizon Europe, are in particular very broad. So there's like policies, there could be policy issues, industry, there could be associations, like the outreach to, let's say, several sectors, citizens engagement, and so on and so on. So here are as well the partners needed. And what is also very important, well, it's quite difficult, we know all from the practice, to start a consortium with completely new partners when no one knows each other. So the trust is very important as well. So here, the issue of the trust should be also there, and we should also think about how to address this aspect when we are going to invite the completely new partners to the collaboration. So next slide, please. And now the strategies, how to address the gaps you have identified and how to look for new partners. So of course, the most efficient and easy, and actually the thing which you can start from now on, is to explore your own networks and the networks of your partners and colleagues in-house. So you have, if you have already implemented some projects and you have partners with whom the collaboration was very successful, and they delivered actually smoothly what they were assigned to, and you know that they have expertise and experience, and they are interested in continuing the collaboration, why not to have them in the new proposition? if someone is missing, it's also good to target the trusted partners firstly, with the request that we are looking, for example, for an organization which could tackle the issue of the citizens' engagement. Because actually, it might happen that our partner organizations had the other proposal or the project with such an organization, and it would be advisable to have them as well on board in the consortium. The other point are the matchmaking and networking event. So you have a very broad portfolio of the brokerage events, like the one that was yesterday organized by the Premier project. It was an online event supported by an online tool, and it was actually really successful and very efficient in terms of funding the new partners, or actually also joining the consortia, because the coordinators could also present their vision there. So follow the information on the European web pages and in other media about such events. As I mentioned, they could happen online, and it's really like efficient because you can dedicate only like 2 hours of your time for this, but also they happen on site, for example, in Brussels, where you have, of course, the whole day through to find the relevant partners. And the networking events are there as well. There is a wide portfolio of such events organized at the European, national, or local, sectoral level. So it's also good to be there, to be in the bubble, and to look for the new partners. Then, of course, the multi-actor approach requires a comprehensive consortium in regard to competencies, but also the type of partners and industry should be there. So it is also good to attend sectoral events gathering industry, like EU Industry Days organized by the Brussels colleagues, but also there are plenty of national, regional, sectoral events like fairs or exhibition and also there. So it's good to be in such events and to look for the industry partners who could actually deliver part of your vision in regard to the project consortium. Big companies, but also the small and medium-sized companies or the association or chambers of commerce are usually presented as well during such events. Then in regard to the academic partners, if you have actually, you researched your own networks, the networks of your colleagues, so actually still being not successful, you can do a strategy which worked for us in several projects. So you can take the publications in the topic and check who are the authors behind and which academic or research institutions are behind, and actually target those research groups directly with the idea of joining the consortium. You can use the Google Scholar as well. And as I mentioned, it's usually working because people are interested as well in joint applications. And then there is there are like a very popular tools currently, especially after COVID, like the virtual tools, social media. LinkedIn seems to be quite broad now, and there are a lot of also researchers, but also industry presenting their offer. So my advice would be to have a look there. And last but not least, it's very important also to prepare yourself, to prepare the strategy, how to approach new identified partners, how to invite them, how to build the trust and start the collaboration. So next slide, please. And now the strategies to address the gaps, so the support services. Of course, you are not alone, not left alone in the process of the proposal preparation. If you are representing research or academic institution, usually you have a kind of a research support office in-house. So there are people working here like research managers and administrators, RMA, who are very experienced. Usually very experienced in the preparation of project proposals, so they can support you while preparing certain parts of the proposals, like in particular impact, which we know that is very complex and very demanding in terms of the number of the requirements. But also they have wide networks, very wide networks, like there is an organization, like a European organization, in terms of the number of the requirements. But also they have wide networks, very wide networks, like there is an organization, like a European organization of research management and administrator consisting of several thousand people. So they from all from a lot of institutions from the academic and research world. So also those people have connections and they know what's happening in other institutions. So they might be helpful as well in funding or identifying relevant partners, but also in decoding, let's say, the requirement of the call in regard to the consortium and in regard to the multi-actor approach. Then in each country of the European Union and associated country, there is a formal requirement to have a national contact points. There are very different structures in regard to the national contact points and location, but it is also there for you, a free of charge service to contact if you have questions related to the context. So please check. You can check on the funding and tender portal. If you don't know who is the NCP in your country, there you will have a name of a person and the contact details. There is also an Enterprise Europe network in each of the country. The network is responsible, actually is covering the industry, in particular small and medium-sized enterprises. So if you are in particular looking for a company with a small company with a special expertise, you may as well target the point of the Enterprise Europe network. And last but not least, there are also like the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, Knowledge and Innovation Communities, so the EIT KICs, which are focused around specific thematic areas like energy, like health, but also there is a food EIT and KICs, which is very active and operating in various countries. So you may as well find out about these structures, see what they are looking, and usually those structures are also gathering a lot of representatives of industry, academia, and other partners around thematic area. So this is the right as well contact point for you in the partner section. And last but not least, external consultants are of course an option too, if you have resources or you need support or you think you will need support later on in, let's say, coordination, administrative coordination of the project. So there are plenty of them. So you can approach those organizations. But my advice would be always to check a pricing model. How does it look like, and to pick up what suits you. And the other advice would be, it's always good to ask the consultants about the success stories they have in their portfolio, so that they can prove their efficiency and like the proper delivery of what they are promising. So basically, this is these are like the points where you can have support while preparing the proposal itself, but also while looking for the partners. And one last word regarding the external consultants that are also very helpful in bringing relevant partners on board, in particular in regard to the dissemination, communication, implementation, citizens engagement when it's required, maybe also some policy aspects. But also, of course, it depends on the nature of the context. So next slide, please. Conclusions. So, as I started my presentation with this, with the first slide, it is very important to start with the idea and the vision, not the consortium. So it's important to pick up the relevant topic and create a vision, because it will be the vision is your, of course, one part of your competitive advantage, how you are going to tackle the problem and the challenge which is mentioned in the context. So the consortium should always follow the concept and should follow the exercise where you identify the gaps and actually the needs you have in regard to the expected outcomes listed in the context. Then it's very useful and practical, and it saves time to use strategies and tools to find new partners. The next presentation of Serena will show you the possibilities of the tools, which could be supportive in finding the partners. Then what is also very important, and you should not forget, because you can lose points, it's important as well to study the policies mentioned in the destination and the challenges there. And in part of the impact proposal, you should always address as well the challenges mentioned in the destination, because it may cost your points. And those challenges may also require to have on board partners delivering a specific expertise, or the policy partners who can ensure that the challenges are properly addressed. The other point which I recommend you is also to follow the headlines in the EU research and innovation bubble. So on LinkedIn or other social media, you can follow the European Commission web pages. There are also like titles like Science Business and so on, through which you can find out what's currently a hot topic or a trend in the European Commission, like it was, for example, AI and still is. So it might be good, actually, while creating your vision, to revise it and have a reflection if, for example, that the trend could be incorporated there. So it's always important to have a look there. Also, it shows like a tendency for the simplification, but also this information from the EU bubble provides you quite important aspects. That, for example, there are like some, through political issues, some partners are excluded, and so on and so on. So it's always good to be updated. And last but not least, you should not forget that while creating the consortium, of course, and preparing the proposition, impact is as important as excellence. Excellence means that you have the partners which could provide a new knowledge, new solutions, or extend already existed or built upon, but also impact is as well important, that you should have the partners that ensure to you the impact and the outreach. So those who have the numbers behind, experience, acknowledged experience and expertise. And the last slide, I believe, please. And this is to conclude. So just two conclusions from my presentation. You need also to start well in advance, because you need time for all this action, to carefully study the documents, to understand them, to do the analysis of the gaps, and to have time also to find the relevant partners. And this is also finding a new partner or partners is an ongoing process. And during the proposal preparation phase, it may happen that actually it takes more time that you have thought, so be prepared. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Katarzyna, for this encompassing presentation. That was very interesting. And now we move on. I would like to welcome Serena Borgna. Serena represents one of these national contact points, NCPs, that Katarzyna explained before. So we are very happy to have you here. Serena will talk about the experiences with the establishment and the use of a brokerage and matchmaking online platform for Horizon Europe calls. Thanks for coming, Serena. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Susanna, for this invitation, and thank you to all the participants that are here today. Let's start from my presentation that will see this overview coming from the national contact points and from the Care for Bio project. Bernard, if you can move on the slide, we can focus on the main point of this presentation. So give you some details about the Care for Bio project that I represent as national contact point, and about the experience of the brokerages event that we had in the past. And then I would like to show you how the brokerage event works, and how the brokerage event and the online platform can support you in the engaging for the next Horizon Europe call, especially in the cluster 6, as also Katarzyna mentioned before. And at the end, I would like to offer some practical tips in order to maximizing the utilization of this platform, and also on how to maximize the visibility of your profile. I'm sorry that you cannot see my face, but maybe there is some problem inside the Zoom platform. But in any case, now Bernardo, please move on in the next slide, where you can see some details about the Care for Bio project. I would like to focus a bit on this project because it is the network of the national contact point for Cluster 6 of Horizon Europe. So we are inside the cluster about food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment, that see inside the multi-actor approach as one of the main features of the funding opportunities that are included in this thematic area. Inside our project, we have a double scope. From one side, we would like to create a more informed and well-connected national contact point community in order to offer the most updated services to our clients. But from another side, we would like also to offer added value services for all the Cluster 6 participants. And it is something very relevant for all the Horizon Europe, network of national contact point. From this point of view, Care4Bio is going to mobilize, to support, to engage the applicants regarding the different issues that are related to the project proposal. Some of the points raised by Katarzyna are also in the end of the national contact point, so we can inform and support the different applicants active at European and international level. From our point of view, what we are doing are, of course, to organize events like brokerage and matchmaking events that are the objective of this presentation. We are used to organize this kind of event back-to-back with the launch of the work program for specific years. So, for example, we organized already 2 brokerages events, one for the call 2023 and 2024, and now we are under the preparation of the next brokerage event that will be dedicated to the work program 2025. Besides the brokerage event, we are also going to organize some trainings for applicants, both on site and online. In the past, we also organized, together with the Premier project, a training dedicated to the multi-actor approach. This topic is very relevant for our applicants. For example, we posed a survey analysis in these weeks, and this topic is one of the most relevant for the applicants at large scale in Europe. So we would like also to emphasize again this point in the next training that we are going to propose to the European applicants. And as last activity open to the applicants, we are going to organize online awareness raising event on specific topic of interest for the cluster 6, like also the partnership, but also like some specific approach in the sector. And these informative sessions that are very short, less than 1 hour, are also available in our YouTube channel. So as you can see in the next slide, there is our portal, our website, where you can find all the information, but also tools, events, and activities that we are going to organize. Of course, you will see here also the connection, the link to our YouTube channel for look inside this online awareness raising session. In the next slide, you can see also the last brokerage events, matchmaking activities that we organized. I would like to focus to the fact that the brokerage event could be both online or on-site. In our experience, we organized the first event online together with the European Commission and back-to-back with the European Info Days. And then the second one, organized in September 2023, was physical. So was organized in Brussels, back-to-back with the Info Days that was organized in presence by the European Commission in Sarleman building. It's very important for us to organize this kind of event on physical basis because people need to meet, not only virtually, but also in presence, back-to-back with important events that the European Commission is going to organize also in Brussels on a European scale. So, for example, this year, the Commission decided to organize the Info Day for the Cluster 6 Work Program 2025 only online. So this Info Day will be the 20 and the 21 of May, please sign this, please put a note on this date. The info day, I repeat, will be only online, but we as a Care for Bio network would like to maintain a strong attention to the physical event, also because the clients, the applicant, would like to keep it face-to-face. So we are going to organize the brokerage event, the official brokerage event, also in cooperation with the European Commission in presence in Warsaw, next 27th of May. So there will be the Info Day 2021 of May, and the brokerage event linked to the call of this work program will be the 27th of May in presence in Warsaw. The information campaign, the promotion campaign will be started very soon, so we will inform all the applicants and also our premier colleagues in order to share this information to you. In the next slide, you can see some interesting numbers about the brokerage event of the past. These numbers are related to the last event that we organized for the call 2024. We foreseen the participation of almost 1,000 participants from 66 countries. So there is a huge presence in this event, and with more than 700 meetings organized. So it is a huge opportunity for try to connect to new partners to that to create a value consortium that can be a part of the Horizon Europe calls. In our brokerage event, it's very interesting also this flash presentation or pitching opportunities. Usually, and then I will give you more details in the next slide, usually we are going also to have these frontal activities at the beginning of the event, where we are going to select some promising coordinator or partner that would like to show in a very fast way their profile to the entire audience. And we are going also to maintain this pitching session in all our brokerage events. In the past, we also, together with the Waderanet project, offered some travel grants to participants that came in Brussels from the widening countries. For this new edition of the brokerage event, there will be the cooperation with Waderanet will be not so strong, only for this year, because they are they are moving to a new release of the project. But in any case, we are going to offer few travel grants that will be covered by Care for Bio. So in case you are interested, please keep away as soon as our promotional campaign will start. In the next slide, please next. In this slide, we now can be more informed about what are brokerages events. So here I would like to put your attention on the fact that the brokerages events are a quick and easy way to meet potential cooperation partner. During this event, you have the possibility to meet another person where there is a cooperative link, a mutual interest in some topics in a 20-minute meetings. And in these 20 minutes, you will have the possibility to start a first connection with other people that came from different countries or different sectors. So the brokerage event represents a very relevant matching opportunities between the supply and the demand for research and or innovation expertise, expressed by academic and non-academic sector, but focuses on specific Horizon Europe calls, especially in our case in Cluster 6 call. So the purposes of this brokerages event is to try to build a good consortium that could apply to the call for a proposal in Cluster 6, with the intention to facilitate the creation of this potential partnership and to show the interest in the different topics that are open in the work program. It's very important, please, next slide, that the brokerage event put in relation people that would like to promote their research, technologies, expertise. So people can decide if offer their expertise or if looking for expert in specific field. So the platform it's built on this demand supply orientation. It's very important to understand that for be more active and more effective in the platform, you have to fix your interest in specific topics. So when you are going to register your profile, you will see different areas of activities that are linked to the topic available in the work program. The selection of this topic, it's very important because it will be the basis for doing the matching between the different applicants that are going to be interested in the brokerage event platform. Companies, university, research and technology organization, public sector, NGO can be part of this brokerage event. You can register and you can add your profile. In the next slide is describe the process on how to participate, because this platform that is a private platform offered by Northwich companies is going to register your profile based on different steps. The first step is the standard registration as you as expert, but also as your organization. So it's very important when you are going to register to add both the content, because some people are also oriented to looking for partner based on the specific organization and the country of the organization. Then, under the registration step, you have to select the different topic under the area of activities where you are going to fix the topic of your interest. The organization profile that you are going to fill in, it's an obligation for you, and it should be very concise but with relevant information that can be useful for the other applicant in order to understand what you are doing, why you are looking for other experts, and which are your area of activities inside Horizon Europe. In the Care for Bio brokerage event, we are going also to validate the profile. So all the information that are required are an obligation for the participant, and they need to be validated. This is very important for us because we would like to maintain a high quality of the people that are part of the brokerage event. So each participant needs to be validated from our side, and the validation criteria are based on the completion of the profile, are based on the attention that you put in the creation of your cooperation profile. That is your business card. So in this cooperation profile, you have to express your needs of research and also to express what you are able to offer to other participants. Once you are registered in the platform, the third step after the registration of you in the platform, there is the meeting request phase. Here you are able to select other people that are registered based on common interest. But please keep in mind that the most relevant profile and the most high quality profile are the first to be selected. So keep your time also in advance in order to request the meeting with attention and with your active participation. What I mean is that you have not to wait for that other people are going to select you, but should be active in order to select people that are very relevant for your profile and for your project interest. Then, as a last step for the physical one, there is the matchmaking. So a day where the 20 minutes meeting are fixed with a specific agenda for each of us. In some cases, we are also going to organize a long-term matching. What is a long-term matching? Is a virtual event that follows the physical one, and where Care4Bio give availability to all the participants to the platform to organize by themselves, so the participant can organize by themselves the virtual meeting. So all the people that are in the platform can continue to meet other participants if they want, also after the brokerage event date. In this case, the matchmaking will be not physical, but will be online. Some suggestions are in the next slide, where you can find some suggestions for filling a high-quality cooperation profile. As I told you before, the cooperation profile is your online business card that represents your first impression to the other. So it should be very clear and concise, and it should describe who you are, what you can offer to potential partner, and what expertise you are looking for, and who you would like to meet. It is very important because, as I said you before, it's a precondition for acceptance, because your profile will be validated by the Care4Bio team. Don't forget that this profile will be also visible in the platform also after the event. So for the people that are registered, it will be available. As also Katarzyna said before, it could be a good tools for looking for partners, also for who was not part in the physical brokerage event. Sorry. In the physical brokerage event. In the right side of the slide, you can find also other suggestions for the profile competition, and I would like to thank you, the Cluster 1 National Contact Point project, for these nice tips that I put inside the slide. In the next slide, you can see also some suggestions for your profile draft and meeting. So some questions that you should post to yourself before be part of the meeting. So in order to fix better your project idea and to present it better to your counterpart during the 20 minutes meeting. It's very important to have a clear idea about why you are going to be in this very short meeting and how to present yourself and your project idea. So when you are going to be part of this event, please have in mind all these points in order to have this meeting very effective and with an added value for looking for really partner in the project consortium. But please be sure, and it is the last point, but it's the most relevant, to not provide sensitive and or confidential information. So be general, but please try to create curiosity to the other participants. Now I'm going to conclude this presentation. In the next slide, you can see some suggestions on how to arrange bilateral meetings. And I say you before, please do it in advance. Don't do the activities of selection of the bilateral meeting few days before the event, because, as I told you before, the most interesting profile maybe could have a full and already full agenda. Inside the B2 match, you can looking for other potential partner for this meeting using some criteria, using some keywords, but there is also the possibility to build this search with the artificial intelligence. So it is another feature that is really of interest. Susanna, I see your face, so I think that my time it's ending. Here some interesting activities about the pitching, the flash presentation section that can be also present during the brokerage event. It is another important point in order to try to emphasize your profile in during the general event, so during the frontal phase and in front of all the audience. In the next slide, you can see some positive aspects that came from the brokerage event. Just to tell you that participating to this event can open you new way for the Horizon Europe participation in the calls, of course, so you can start to create a new team that could be useful for apply in Horizon Europe in the call 2025, but also in the next one till the end of the program. But I would like also to underline another point, that it's very important to participate to this brokerage event, because this relation that you are going to create could be useful not only for the Horizon Europe calls, but also for other cooperation in research and innovation. So the ways that could be open are different and not only related to the framework program. So Susanna, I'm closing my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and in case of some question, I'm available. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Serena, for this encompassing presentation of the online platform. Our last speaker, Eduard, will now come in. Eduard Mauri.
Hello.
Here.
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for inviting me. To set the context, I've been involved in international projects, mainly Horizon Europe, for the last 9 years at the European Forest Institute, and most of them using multi-actor approach. Also involved in proposal writing, not all of them successful, of course. And what I've seen is that the first speaker, Katarina, has presented a very sound and complete background. So even if some of the text you will see in my slides repeat what Katarina said, I will be more focusing on my own experience. But first, a disclaimer is that I come from the forestry sector. And the forestry sector, if you don't know, it's much smaller than the agricultural sector. If you want to assess this, just go to the Cluster 6 word program and type the word farm, and then type the word forest, and you will see the difference of results. So it means that having or being in a smaller sector, it may bring the thing that there are less actors. So we know more each other. Anyway, here how I foresee this creation of finding partners. The structure or the process would be starting with a sparker, so someone having the idea. Then immediately, as soon as this person shares this idea with someone outside his or her organization, you start getting this core group of main partners, and finally the last step is contacting the rest of the partners of the consortium. So in many cases, this sparker is the coordinator or becomes the coordinator of the proposal. The core members, so those that join first, in most of the cases become the work package leaders, and then the others are either task leaders or simply partners doing activities. My experience is also mainly in projects with about 15, maximum 20 partners. So imagining something like, of course, one coordinator only, and then around 5 work package leaders, and a total of 15 partners, up to 20 more or less. So this is where I set my pool of experiences. And in this logical step, all starts with an idea that for me should be the vision and the mission of the project. Then with the core members, you start drafting the proposal, and then this drafting is brought into discussion with the other consortium members that join. And I've seen an interesting question in the Q&A where I would like to contribute, not to provide an answer, but it's saying this tension between the idea and the partner's ambition. But in fact, I think that you have to add there a third element, so making this a triangle. So the idea, the partner's ambition, but also finding the appropriate call to fit this idea and to fit this partner's ambition. So this triangle makes a tension that we need to solve. Well, you can throw away this process that is very theoretical, because from one experience that I can share with you, I was in a brokerage event. There was a sparker, a partner that I already knew in person from previous project, and this sparker in a breakout group of about maybe 10 other organizations, he proposed, oh, we could do a project for that specific call. Who would like to join? And from there, more or less half of the people there agreed. It created the core members. Then we started bringing other partners into this consortium. And what finally happened is that this sparker simply became another partner, so not even a task leader, and one of the core members of this proto consortium became the coordinator. So just to say that this structure is not linear, and you may have many backs and forwards. Because the way I foresee increasing these numbers of partners is like a snowball effect. Is that for sure? If you are the sparker, if you have the idea and start contacting people, and even if you are aiming to lead a consortium, you will not know all the possible partners in the future consortium. You not, but others will, and these others may be the core members that will bring other people, and this making a snowball effect. So when you add a new partner, this new partner will bring other possible partners. So the group is expanding. However, you need to control this snowball effect. Otherwise, you get partners coming in, and if you do not control this, we will see the consequences. Because this brings another tension that is summarized in a Spanish saying. So if there are Spanish people in the audience, you all know this saying that says, better a known fool than a wise man to know. So with who do you work in your consortium? Who do you invite? Do you invite those partners, those organizations that you have already worked with, and you know how do they work? Maybe even if they do not do the best job, or maybe if they do not fit perfectly what you expect from them in this consortium, or you start searching for partners that very well fit the competencies that you need, but maybe you have never worked with them. So this is a tension that you will need to solve. And of course, maybe you will end up in a combination of both, of inviting partners that you already know, and at the same time, trying to get new partners in that you have never worked with them. And all you know about them is what you could read in their website, or if you are lucky, meet them in a brokerage event. So some common pitfalls. Are your partners in your consortium complementary or competitors? Because if you are competitors in the sense that they have very similar competencies and they can perform very similar tasks and activities, and I found myself coordinating a project where we had partners with very similar skills and competencies, and then you say, but they could do the same job. Maybe I do not need two partners so similar. So for this, I think that an assessment tool is needed. That could be, as Susanna presented at the beginning, these competencies and skill matrix proposed by Premier, because it forces you to sit down and think about the consortium you are building, and thinking from an objective perspective. So this assessment tool for me should be implemented when you only have the core group, because the core group is quite reduced, as I told, maybe 4 or 5 partners. And if you have very few partners, the chances of overlapping, the chances of competing against each other for the same competencies is lower than if you have many partners, when then this overlapping is more likely to occur. Then pay attention also to unforeseen transversal needs, because as researchers or technical people that we may be, we may think about the scientific part of our project, but you may have other needs that are not scientific. Maybe you need software developers, online database managers, professional designers, professional facilitators, and you have to detect these needs when you are still filling in the others, because otherwise the consortium is complete and maybe you don't have more space or budget for other partners. But first you have to assess is maybe some of the partners that you already have these skills or competencies in-house. But then think about, is the budget allocated? Or even worse, maybe you start a consortium, you start a project, you detect this need, and you don't even have budget allocated to it. And I give you an example. We had, I was in a project where we needed a professional designer, and we didn't have any. We had no partners with these skills. So we said, okay, let's go and hire a professional designer with the budget of other woodworks and services that was expected to be used for professional translation. So what happened is that the partners find themselves doing the work of the professional translator. Of course, they were translating from English to their own languages, but for a task that it was not expected. And from this money, we hire the professional designer. Yeah, so not the ideal situation, because it brings your budget in a struggle. Another common pitfall is that work package leaders must lead. So ensure that any work package leaders, they have a leading capacity. Otherwise, if you are the coordinator, you will also be doing the work of work package leaders for those that do not are not so likely to lead. And this brings to another point, is that the fact that you have a beneficiary, and here the word is important, a beneficiary, it doesn't mean that you will work with that person. Because those who sign the grant agreement are beneficiaries, are organizations, but you work with people. And maybe a given person is very active in the proposal, and you see, oh, I want to work with this person. He may become an excellent work package leader or task leader. And then when the project starts, oh, this researcher or this person is assigned to another project, and you never see him or her again, and you have to work with someone else. So I don't have any clue on how to fix this. So I think it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of transparency and making very clear that you want to work with that given person. So how to use the right tools for the right work. For example, how do you reach 100 locations without 100 beneficiaries? I imagine that the call, or you want to reach many countries or many regions in Europe, and you cannot have such much beneficiaries, or yes, then the project becomes more and more complex. Or maybe sometimes the beneficiaries are small organizations receiving a very small funding from the project, and say, well, I don't want to get on board with this Horizon Europe burden for such a few work. So then you may consider hiring them through other good work and services, or other via grant-specific formulas, like the third party, I think it's called like this, in Horizon Europe. So where they have a contractual agreement with the project, but without being beneficiaries. So you have to explore the grant formulas that allow this. In Interreg, for example, there are associated partners that have fulfilled this role. And then if you have practitioners, but do they act as practitioners? Do you request them to perform tasks as practitioners? For example, I've been in projects that were called multi-actors, and we had some practitioners, and they, for example, have never been asked to review outputs that had practitioners as target audience. So, and then the outputs, well, they are supposed to be for practitioners, but the practitioners themselves that you had in your consortium didn't review this. So not very clever. Or even with the policymakers, sometimes you find yourself asking some technical tasks to policymakers, when, to my understanding, policymakers should be used to contact other policymakers outside the consortium, so exploit these networks that they have, and even review some outputs that are for policymakers and make sure that these outputs speak the language of the policymakers. Some other suggestions, and this goes beyond creating simply the consortium, but things that should happen at proposal stage, and I think that will make your life easier, is keep an extended original version of the proposal. Usually the proposal is longer and more detailed than what you submit, and even the budget. So please preserve all these details, because then if not, when you are executing the project, say, oh, at the proposal stage, we decided that this task will do this and that in more detail, but it's not captured in the grant agreement because we don't have enough space for submit. And then if you have this tracked or written down somewhere, is very useful. Also pay attention that the proposal coordinator doesn't have to be the project coordinator. I've been in experience where a partner was coordinating the proposal and then another partner became the coordinator. But then watch out, because if you are in this situation that you are the project coordinator to be, if the proposal is funded, you will have to execute the planning of someone else. So watch out of what they are writing. And then when gathering new partners and assigning them a budget, make sure that the partners can spend the granted money. And it may be some strange, but partners, they have to respect their own administrative rules that in some cases may prevent some partners to spend the money in a given way. Usually SMEs have more flexibility to spend money. Of course, always money that can be then claimed to your grant. But I was in a consortium where we had a partner that was only allowed to travel outside their own country using their national airline. So imagine if their national airline had not direct flights to the destination where the activity was taking place, it was very difficult to allow this partner to spend the budget because they were trapped. Some thoughts about the networking events that have been extensively exposed. To my opinion, the plenary sessions should be to introduce the organizations, and then when you have one-to-one meetings, then you can explore. It's there to know to approach the people that have the ideas, the people that have the willing to join a proposal, etc. So I see here this. The two different usages, and also very important, do not commit on the spot. You may be very enthusiastic with your proposal, and I did myself some errors when I was more junior, that I committed to something that then my supervisors said, oh, we don't want to go this way, and then I had to go back. So then you are in a delicate position, the same way that you are in a delicate position if you start inviting partners in your consortium, and then you realize that these partners are competing, overlapping in competencies, and what do? You start kicking them out. That's also very delicate. And I would like to conclude with one saying that I like is from this Nobel Prize on economy, that ideas are useless unless used. The proof of their value is their implementation. So until they are in a limbo. So don't be afraid of sharing your ideas, even if you are not the one coordinating then the project proposal, because as I introduced at the beginning, this experience of someone having a nice idea that brought into a project, but finally this person didn't become the coordinator, not even work package leader, or not even task leader, but he brought the idea to people, and all together we made it flourish. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eduard, for your lively presentation. You have so much experience. Great, you shared them with us.
Thank you, Suzanne.
No, it was really good. So we would like to open the Q&As now, and all the panelists are here. So we got a big overview of this topic on finding partners, bringing people together and not being having too many commitments. Bernardo, I would like to introduce you. You are our man in the background.
Hello.
From Siam. Thanks a lot for making this all possible here, this webinar. Bernardo, what do we have in the questions at the moment?
Well, there are not too many, 3, but there is a first question which I think is very interesting. It says that from an anonymous attending, they say, I challenge the point. To start with the idea and consortium should follow the concept. So,
yeah.
And the need to follow all theses understand, but the project multi-actor approach way should start from the participants' ambitions. I think, well.
Yeah, I like this question, and it's challenging, in particular, Katarzyna's presentation. From my perspective, both is correct. It's just different on where in the process and from which perspective to look at it. But Katarzyna, I'm sure you want to reply.
Yes, thank you very much for this challenging question. I agree what Eduardo said about the triangle approach in this matter, but I would like to also add my own perspective that, of course, it is a very important role of the coordinator is to recognize and acknowledge the expertise of the partners who should deliver certain activities within the project, and in particular the work package leaders and task leaders, and to empower the partners to provide their own ideas on how to tackle the expected outcomes listed within the project. So I believe this ambitions is also about bringing the partner's idea into the whole vision you have for the for the topic you have selected. So my advice, I know that sometimes it could be difficult, but it's also the very important role of the coordinator here. Thank you.
Yeah, and if I might say something, because I participate in the preparation of 2 proposals, and then I have some experience about that. As you say, both approaches are correct, but as I think Edward mentioned something, when consulting the participants, the potential partners, they have their own profile, their own interest. So the role of the coordinator in the proposal should be to be sure that the proposals that come from the different partners match with the call, and they do not deviate from the call. This is very important because all institutions have their own interests, their own objective. But here we are working for a proposal, for a call, and this is a difficult task to coordinate. But I don't know, Edward.
Yeah, if I may put some practical experience on this tension between what is first the idea or the participants' ambition. As we have seen, the evolution of the consortium is in parallel with the evolution of the proposal. And if you first start, I like to use the term that because it's more precise, vision, mission, and objectives. And for me, this vision, mission, and objective should be your business card when you go to introduce the proposal to someone else. And the first that you usually introduce, as I presented, and this is my experience, is that they are partners that will become in these core members, usually then becoming work package leaders. And in many cases, at least my own experience, as I said, because I come from the forestry sector, is smaller, there are less potential partners than in agriculture. In many cases, you already can guess what are the ambitions of these core members that you would like to invite, because you have seen them in other presentations, you have collaborated previously with them. So somehow things go in parallel, and you can pitch the idea, you can pitch this vision and mission and objective to the participants for which or for whom you already know their ambitions, and you know that their ambitions will match the vision and mission that you are sharing with them. I acknowledge that it may not necessarily always be the case, but there is this possibility. And then as other partners join, usually there is this non-written law that says that more or less the later you join, the lower your the smaller your role will be, and the less power you will have to influence the consortium and the proposal. Meaning that then partners coming later, their ambitions are in a second turn, are in the background and less influential on the consortium.
Thank you, Eduard. Do we have any other questions at the moment? I don't think so.
No, but there's a question and Serena answer that I think is important related with this.
Yeah, please.
Is again an attending asking about the success of applications. If there is and also if there is a grant available to assist the overall application process. So regarding the success, Serena answers saying that in general, in cluster 6, the success rate of applicants at the European level is around 23-25%, with different rates for countries. I don't know if you would like to say something more, Serena. If
No,
this is for you, it's a high success or is low?
It's a good success because it's one proposal passed on 4 submitted, so it's not so bad. Also compared with other area inside Horizon Europe, but this is start from an approach that we are inside the program that is a strong competitive program. So when we are going to apply in Horizon Europe calls, we have to put on the table that there will be a strong competitive, strong challenges with other proposals. So it is part of the game. Not should this percentage don't be an element of be scared from the participant. Also, especially because in other countries, this success rate percentage is it's few. So it is a very general. It's the general success rate at European level. Regarding the second point, that in my opinion it's the most relevant, it's about some grant that are for supporting the applicants in the preparation phase. This is something that is not guaranteed at European level from the European Commission, but of course exists some grants of this type that are available at organization level or at country or regional level. So it's something that you have to looking for inside your country, your region, your organization, but it's not guaranteed at European level because for the European Commission it is a competitive call. So and Commission is not going to give you additional money for participate. It is on your forces, but it's not funded from European Commission side.
Good.
Yeah, thank you, Serena. Serena, I have also a question for you. How do you see the attitude or the behavior of the coordinators in these platforms or big brokerage events? Because everybody of those who want to participate are looking for coordinators, potential coordinators. So they are really the persons or the organizations sought after. So that's why in this competitive environment, they often hold back, they don't say it, they just explore and so on. Eduard showed this great picture of the snowballs and the hand that is snowed under. So they know how careful they are. How do you see them acting on these big events? Are they actually there, or is it mainly a platform for participants?
Susanna, I would like to be honest. Of course, the percentage of people that are offering as coordinator in the platform is very low compared with people that would like to offer their expertise. But what I would like to say is that sometimes in this event, if you are going to create a good relation with another people, maybe you are going to create a core group of partners, and inside this core group, you will find someone that at the beginning didn't want to be a coordinator, but after meet some people that are very good and very supportive, he can say, okay, I would like to be a coordinator. So it's very important, in my opinion, but also Edward said before, to have a very good core partner at the beginning, where also the coordinator could be supported by good people around him. He's not alone. He is part of a good team.
Thank you, Serena.
Mhm.
If we don't have any further questions, Bernardo, I would
Well,
like
I have one question.
you have one question?
Yeah, from me to
Yes,
all
please.
of you,
So,
or
go
maybe
on.
Edward, because Edward in one of the slides says something about how to reach 100 locations without adding 100 beneficiaries, no? And because this is found in many calls, no? That the saying that you need to involve practitioners, involve citizens, I don't know, local examples. And so I don't know if you could say something, because when building a multi-actor approach project, this might be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that unfortunately, I've never adopted any solution for this. We finally had to limit to the geographical area that we could cover with the 15, 18 partners. But I think that it's very worthy to explore, but it's a belief, not an experience, to explore these third-party participants in Horizon Europe, or really book some money from other good works and services to hire these participants. I would maybe avoid subcontracting, or try to keep away from subcontracting, but because then it keeps you more tight, and usually subcontracting, as understood by the Commission, is one partner needs to execute all the tasks, or one partner, the subcontracted organization needs to execute all the tasks, and here it's more having parts of the task done in different locations or with different stakeholders. To go back to what Serena said, I fully agree, and I've been in a project that started the proposal without the coordinator. We were about 4 or 5 partners, and these 4 or 5 partners became at the end work package leaders. But we developed a big part of the proposal without a coordinator, and we were kind of self-coordinating ourselves, fixing us regular meetings to develop the proposal, fixing us homework of which task of the proposals each of one will develop. And as you said, Serena, some weeks later, there was one partner who at the beginning was not willing to coordinate, who said, oh, with this nice consortium, with this nice proposal that we are developing, now I'm willing to do the coordination. So it's true that this happens.
Yeah. May I clarify this again for our audience, what we were talking about, this financial support for third parties as grants. This is a very specific financial opportunity, which can only be applied when it is written in the overview table of the call topic text. So this is very specific. Third parties, this can be applied all the time. But this particular opportunity of granting them after the project has started is an opportunity that is only available if it is written in the call topic text. And then it can be applied, implemented in the proposal text, and then a certain amount of money, 50,000 euro, 500,000 euro, whatever is foreseen for the particular action, for the particular project, then it can be used. It is not very often, so that's why you need to watch out. Since it is such an important detail, I can also add to how we did it in the Premiere project, the question of how to address all member states, because that was the requirement. in our call topic text, we had to cover all member states. And we said, well, the budget is not enough for 27 partner organizations. Plus we need certain skills, technical skills, where we might not find in the different member states. So that's why we applied macro-regional approach, where we said we set up 4 macro regions. And in these macro regions, we have 4 advisory panels that represent different countries and can work as multipliers, as ambassadors for the project in both ways. They give us report on what is going on in Portugal, because we don't have a Portuguese partner for the Mediterranean area, or Malta or Cyprus or whatever. And so this was is an attempt in order to make sure we cover all member states without including a beneficiary from all areas. A particular methodologies, others are available. Katarzyna.
I'm sorry, Katarzyna, sorry, Susanna. I have to leave because I'm late with another meeting, but in case someone has some specific question, I'm available. You have all my contacts and are also easily foundable on online. So thank you very much for the invitation. I'm sorry, but I have a people.
No, we are a little bit over time, so
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Sorry.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the invitation.
Bye-bye.
So we will finish soon. Katarzyna, last point.
Yes, so I'll be very, very brief. So I would like to tackle these strategies, how to cover 100, let's say, areas without having participants. So we also have one of the project, which is about supporting widening participants in exploitation of the key exploitable results. So what we have done to have more participants on board is like also to use the advisory board members, like to have the representative in the advisory board from the countries you don't have within the consortium and make them the ambassadors. And then also you can, what you can do is also to have the affiliated entities. If an organization has a branch, for example, or partner in another country, they could be affiliated entities. And last but not least, there is also an option of associated partners. But please remember that the associated partners cannot come with a budget. Plus, you cannot also put in your budget the cost to be reimbursed by the associated partners. But you can find out with the partner other benefits they have, like having the events there, that they are the ambassadors, first-hand knowledge, and so on and so on. So it's good to explore also these possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Katarzyna. Bernardo, I would like to finish with an overview of the next step. What's happening in Premiere project in the coming weeks and months. And obviously we have a webinar series. So this program is available on our website. And the next webinar will take place on the 26th of March. And it's about understanding the specifics of multi-actor approach in your call. And then we have other webinars to come, and they will all be available on our YouTube channel once cut and uploaded. We have other events also happening, also on the national level, and Serena has talked about the cooperation with the other projects, such as Care for Bio she was representing. There's other projects out there who also engage and provide support for this application process and this crucial process. So please follow us, have a look at our website, we will update it. And we are now all excited to move into this very busy time of proposal development for Cluster 6 until the deadline in September. And thanks again to our panelists for participation in this event, and for everybody a good day, and thanks for following and listening. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye.
Goodbye.